So resign.
Yep, we're ready.
Please rise and join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Meeting of the Wahoo City Council, Tuesday, April 14th, 7 o'clock p.m. Open Meetings Act is posted on the wall. Call the meeting to order and roll call.
Stuart Creechy.
Here.
Shane Sweet.
Here.
Carl Warford.
Here.
Ryan Ideas.
Here.
Chris Raffle.
Here.
Patrick Nagel.
Okay, proclamation, Friday the 24th and 26th will be Arbor Day, and so we'll post that as a proclamation. Anybody in the audience that wants to speak? Mr. Reese.
That's me. Thank you. My name is Bill Reese. I live at 220 Longfellow Circle on the north side of Wahoo. I'm a county supervisor for District 3. I'm here tonight to just give you a little information and hopefully ease a little bit of angst on everyone's part, and to offer an apology if ought be due, which I believe it is. First of all, the county, with an arrangement with Saunders Medical, is going to be the lessor, I think that's the word, of the building on the northeast corner of highways 109 and 7792. This is for projected expansion of office space that we feel we may be needing down the road. We're expanding some positions at the courthouse, and we are going to be in some negotiations with the Department of Health and Human Services. We are obligated to provide office space for them up until 2028, and after that we are not obligated, but they still may want to have a presence in Saunders County, and so we're acquiring that building to hopefully provide office space for an expanded staff. There's current lease in there with 3 tenants. We intend to extend the lease for Paul Sutton and his practice there until he could make arrangements, and we're willing to work with him on a extended period if necessary to work with him. On a side note, he was under the impression that he would be vacated as of June 30th, and which would not give anyone a lot of time to relocate a practice such as his, and so we did talk to him this week, as a matter of fact, to kind of ease his fears. So if you hear anything out there about that arrangement, that's where that is standing. Secondly, I'd like to just address the situation that the county supervisors took with regard to our economic development plan. And that was to hire a part-time economic director to help us kind of get our foot in the door in a meaningful way for economic development within the county, to address, areas that are not under city or municipal jurisdictions as far as their zoning and planning and regs and things like that. We did meet with the Greater Omaha Development Partnership, which is an organization that includes 8 counties around, and I'm going to pass this out. A couple of you have already seen this. In fact, I did have a good conversation with both Stuart and Ryan regarding this, and I thought it'd be a good idea to just kind of explain what our position was on this. The partnership engages Douglas, Sarpy, Cass, Dodge, Washington, Odo, Potawatomi, and Mills. And if you look at the back page there, you'll see a map, and it's very noticeable that there's a piece missing of that puzzle. What the partnership does is it engages all the counties to think about development on a regional basis. do know that the Omaha Metroplex, if you wanna call it that, is expanding. We're feeling the pressure of that already to a certain extent. And so we kind of want to get engaged with other counties to be in collaboration with them as this area does develop. At one time, we had full intention to resurrect an existing corporation, Saunders County Economic Development Corporation, which has been in existence since 2010. However, it has kind of fallen through the cracks due to lack of participation of the intended participants. Many of the board members are no longer here. One, in fact, has passed away. The director of that corporation, the executive officer, is no longer in the state. So it's our intention to resurrect that. We then met with this development partnership leadership, and we kind of decided that we're going to put that corporation on the back burner for now until we decide what it is we really want to do as a county. Because if, you know, things are different now than they were in 2010. And so we kind of want to take a step back and look at what we really want. Do we want a commission? Do we want a corporation? What is it we want? Then an opportunity arose with the Ashland Community Development Corporation. They're in transition of hiring a new director. Their director moved on, and we were approached by them that they were going to then join this partnership, because the requirements is you have to have an organization with an executive director to participate in the partnership. And so the city of Ashland and their development, they're going to join them, and they offered a part-time position to us on a 75-25% split. So that new director, whoever they put in place, would then be a part-time position for the county to help us navigate a little bit on the early stages of economic development and putting together a real robust plan, if you will. And so with that in mind, the supervisor saw the opportunity and perhaps acted a little hasty. And I'm here to apologize publicly for the lack of communication that our committee did not participate with some of the major players within the county. And I realize that we all need to work together on things like this, and I certainly personally dropped the ball on that. However, that said, I think there's a lot of advantages to working this out. We probably view that position as being a very short-term arrangement, because we would like to be fairly aggressive in having our own director, our own corporation, if you will, on that part. The arrangement of having a city be a member of the partnership has been done in Cass County. It is being done in the Otoe County, where Nebraska City's economic developer is a member and sits at the table with the partnership, as does Cass County. Their partnership is through the city of Plattsmouth. It really doesn't matter to us who or what city represents the county on the partnership. The fact is that we will be at the table. And if you look at the little handout I gave you, it does suggest a lot of collegiality in what goes on there. What we really anticipate is just having this part-time person help us navigate our initial baby steps, if you will, into adult steps in economic development. It's not a long-term arrangement by any means, but we do feel it's advantageous to maybe take a few small steps first, get people at the table. And this is what I think Jerry's going to address a little bit later, is that I think there's a real opportunity now for cities and municipalities, including the smaller ones, Meade, Utan, obviously Valparaiso, because these are all on corridors that are going to be seeing increased traffic and opportunity for development. There's gonna be an opportunity to bring these people together and decide how we want to attack this on a county basis. So with that, I appreciate you letting me come and talk and explain kind of what our position was. And again, I reiterate that it was not intended to slight the city of Wahoo and their economic development plan. That was certainly not even in the back of my mind. And I have learned so many things having been elected to a county supervisor position, is that all good intentions, you know, what they say about the road of good intentions, what it's, you know, it's paved to hell. And so we're gonna work through this, and I just want you to know that Wahoo and their economic development team will be at the table in any future discussions about how we can make this work for Saunders County. We are in a real good position to craft our own future here. And what's really nice is in the discussions with the counties who were there, they say it's been a very, very benefit to them, because the infrastructure is already there for them to tag on to. So with that, I will conclude, and thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
And maybe towards the end of the meeting, in Jerry's comments, we could have some dialogue if you have questions.
Yeah,
And I'd be glad to
in
hopefully,
the mayor's comments,
Entertain that.
I'll follow up, and we've talked about that.
yeah.
Bill and I did have a meeting this morning.
Yeah, I'm kind of upset that the camera's on my backside, because it's really not very flattering. In fact, over Easter weekend, my 4-year-old grandson says, "Grandpa, how come you don't have any hair?" And I said, "It was because I was elected to public office."
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, department head. Leslie.
I have it on my list here. I will try to keep it short. For those of you who have not heard, if you remember, we submitted a request to Congressman Bacon's office for some community designated spending earmark for a project, the 10th Street extension over Dry Run Creek, and that was selected. So that's in the infancy stages of moving forward. There's lots of steps that have to happen before we actually see the dollars and can commit to completing that project. But that's roughly $3.2 million, and then we have a 20% match, which is what we committed to in the application. So that was good news. And the same week, we got notice from the Department of Economic Development that we were successful in our application for, civics, CCCFF funding, the planning grant that we applied for the Civic Center facility. So that was $15,000. We have to match that with $15,000, and so that is a planning grant that will help us advance that project. In the office, we have been working on the cemetery project. What is the Celebrate Life. Celebrate Life Co. We had a kickoff meeting yesterday where we talked about the technicalities and how it's all gonna flow together. So we're getting that going. We have kind of been at a standstill on that since we've been down a person in the office. We did get a person hired for the office assistant position, Janie Brabeck. It's not Robbins, it's Brabeck. Joined us on the 1st of April, roughly the 1st of April, the 30th of March. And so she has been fitting in just fine, and she's been able to commit some time to working on that cemetery database. So we're working to get that project going. Just a reminder for you, EAA is hosting their breakfast fly-in, second Saturday morning of every month. Did any of you make it out there? We've been putting that in the chamber newsletter. Just a reminder, it's a free will donation, and any money that they collect off of that goes to fund scholarships for youth to attend an aviation camp in
Ogallala.
where?
Ogallala.
Ogallala, Oshkosh.
Oshkosh.
Yeah.
That way.
It's not that way. It's eastern, United States. So there's attend. They are getting ready to kick off a fairly sizable project here in Wahoo to install fiber to the home. It's not every place, but it is a few places, so, yeah, I think so, yes. I think it is going up Sycamore Street, yeah, and at least something is happening and it's moving forward, so I am inviting them to attend and speak about that, just to share their plans. What else? Oh, the utilities, Board of Public Works meeting will be tomorrow, and they have awarded two projects of the 3 projects for the looping project to take water, natural gas, and electricity from basically the hospital or a little north of that all the way around to Chestnut Street inside the loop. Their last contract they're going to be considering tomorrow night, and so we'll hopefully get to see. We don't have a kickoff date for that to start, but that's moving forward. What was the last thing? Oh, last thing is April is Fair Housing Awareness Month. We did do a new update on the city's website. There's a link to a video that really does a good job of explaining fair housing and issues. So one of the, for our downtown revitalization grant, one of the special conditions that we had to meet was promoting fair housing and our fair housing policy in Wahoo. So we have put that on our website. Again, the video, it's a half hour long, but it actually helps you understand what some of the fair housing and discrimination issues are that people face. So with that, any questions?
At one time, we mentioned maybe having an open house in the old city hall while it was getting cleaned out before the remodel starts.
Yes.
Will that happen?
We will get a date scheduled for that, yes.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Beneficial.
Okay, thank you. Next item of business is the consent agenda.
There are a few bills. I would make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, second? Is there any discussion on that?
Wait,
Roll
who
call
seconded?
on the consent agenda.
Creachy,
Yes.
Nagel,
Yes.
Rappel,
Yes.
Sweet,
Yes.
Warford,
Yes.
Ideas.
Yes.
We have no public hearings, but we do have action items. The first one is authorization for the city to contract with Diamond Concrete Cutting for curb cutting services. You're speaking to that?
Yeah, this request came from Joe. I think I put a summary in the packet. Historically, we have provided, for the most part, the curb cuts, and it's not been really curb cuts, it's been curb grinding. Looks pretty rough. This company will actually do a cutting that looks really nice. If you're building a new house, it would be kind of the standard that I would expect if I was doing that. And, we would still manage we would be contracting with them, and in turn then invoice someone who needed the curb cutting, so that we're in control of where the street gets cut. So if there's any questions on that, I felt like this was something that needed to come to you for your consideration. And then the next item on the agenda would be to adjust our fee schedule to meet their fees that they will be charging. And we are increasing by $2 a linear foot and going from a minimum invoice amount of $250 to $300. So $300 as a minimum invoice will get you about 18 feet of curb cutting, which is a fair driveway, but not a 3-stall driveway. So any questions on that?
What stops me from just calling this company and cut my own curb? Do they know we have to have a permit granted to do this?
I'm not certain on that, but we don't have an official handwritten permit, and I'm sure that there are other situations that happen. But I think Joe, I'll encourage him to have that conversation. If there's someone in Wahoo, they should be,
Knowledgeable.
yeah.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah, my only question, the first one, I'm missing something, I'm sure, but, the first action item there is authorization to contract with Diamond Concrete Cuttings, but I don't see anything in here from Diamond about who they are or what their costs to us are.
Gotcha. They are a company out of work here in Wahoo already. There is a history. One of the builders that works here in town has worked with them fairly extensively in Lincoln. They have, I think Joe stated, a $500,000 concrete cutting machine, and this is all that they do. I did go out and do some searching to see if there was other companies that provide the same service, and there is not. It's more of just a selection of them. They've provided us with the necessary insurance. They've given us a W-9, so we know that they've got the coverage, and we have seen their work here in town in other locations. So.
How many drives are we talking about in a year?
It depends on how many building permits are,
I
maybe
was gonna say how many houses are built in a
15.
year.
Gotcha,
15 or 20.
gotcha.
And in all honesty, it might be a little more than that because it's pretty common for there to be an extension of an existing as well.
Yeah.
So if we get 15 to 20 new homes, then it's probably more like 20 to 25 curb cuts.
Okay.
And in theory, I suppose we're losing a little bit of our revenue stream, but we also are freeing up our teams to be able to do other work, and the end product is better. This is what they do all the time, so.
Do we still need that leased machine?
We use the
still use it
Bobcat
for
for
other
other
stuff.
things, and we had purchased the grinder, which they would use, it's more like a milling,
Yeah.
which they would use in doing some of the street repairs that they are doing.
Doesn't make sense to me if they don't, yeah.
So
Any other questions?
Well, the name of the business isn't that important to me. It's the producing the liability insurance that they can work here, and what was the other option you
The
did?
W-9 they've given
Okay.
us, yeah, and
Yeah.
that's been secured.
Does this action lock us into this company, or can we let Joe decide if it meets the criteria that we're talking, can we introduce competition into it?
Yeah, I don't think it's intended to be an exclusive company. It's who we would be using, until probably their services don't meet our standards or their rates go up.
So there isn't a term.
No, there wasn't.
Okay.
It's not.
I would say it's probably Joe's decision if the work is not quality,
Yeah.
just to, in fact, terminate that agreement and work for another one.
I mean, I saw a contract, it's not the same thing, term, and that means rates and all that stuff involved, but if you're talking about this is more of a, no, we're just hiring them to do it case by case, and we'll continue to do that until it's no longer.
I think
advisory.
Joe's, and we talked about this a little bit, it's important for you to understand that we're no longer providing the curb grinding
Right.
or the curb milling, and instead we're doing this because it's really not a contract, other than
We're just gonna start
we're
hiring.
just gonna start hiring.
But again, it's
right,
per job.
Right, it's per
When I
job,
saw it, I
yes.
was thinking we were signing a contract, an exclusive
Right.
contract with locked in
It's kind
rates
of
and all
worded that way, to understand, yeah.
But this is a good idea. It's a good move.
Yeah.
I like the
Yeah.
direction this is going.
With that, I would make a motion to approve or authorize the city to contract with
I
them.
have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any other questions, comments? Roll call.
Warford,
Yes.
Sweet,
Yes.
Rappel,
Yes.
Nagel,
Yes.
Krejci,
Yes.
Ideas.
Yes.
The second is a resolution to amend the fee structure regarding curb grinding / cutting. We talked a little bit about that fee.
Going from
15 to
15 to 17, and a minimum of from 250 to 300.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Questions? Roll call.
Sweet,
Yes.
Ideas.
Yes.
Krejci,
Yes.
Nagel,
Yes.
Warford,
Yes.
Rappel.
Yes.
Number three, approval of ordinance number 2496, an amendment to ordinance number 2493 regarding the annexation of Dry Run Commons Phase 1.
And so we went through the 3 readings to annex Phase 1, Dry Run Commons, and as I'm getting ready to file it, it dawned on me that we did not annex the road adjacent to it, which is what is required. So this is a cleanup, and Joe and I will let you speak to, we don't need to do 3 readings of this,
No, I mean, and that's, it needs to be clear, we're not revoking the entirety of the prior ordinance, because that would require us to start the process over, go through planning commission, 3 readings and the like. We're simply revoking a section of the prior ordinance and amending it, which would be a singular vote, assuming you want to waive the second, third reading, pass this ordinance.
So as an ordinance needs to be introduced, motion introduced.
Second.
Motion away?
Second.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Warford,
Yes.
Ideas,
Yes.
Krejci,
Yes.
Sweet,
Yes.
Grapple,
Yes.
Nagel.
Yes.
Okay, that concludes our agenda, and I do have some comments. as
Jared.
Smith-
We need a vote on the final reading of the ordinance.
Oh, sorry,
That's okay.
okay.
Ready when you are.
Motion on final reading,
We have the motion and the second already. We just,
okay, roll call.
Warford,
Yes.
Ideas.
Yes.
Krejci,
Yes.
Nagel,
Yes.
Grapple,
Yes.
Sweet.
Yes.
Okay, as Mr. Reese commented in his opening comments, and he's filled in some of the things that I had that I was gonna talk about, the history, a little bit of it, and the organization we used to have. His explanation is we might end up going back to that, but that's probably not on the radar right now. Periodically, I do attend county board meetings, and on the agenda, this subject of the economic development is carried over agenda items. One of them is, that's been carried over for quite a few weeks, is the discussion and possible action on economic development. And that's the way it's listed on last week's agenda. The week before, Dave Lutton does my tax returns, and I asked him one day about the project, economic development project. He said, well, we're working on it. So I didn't feel that there was anything probably gonna happen, immediately. Saw that on the agenda, so I did leave the meeting. Yesterday, I got a copy of the minutes that was provided me by Teresa, our economic development director. And 2 items on there that struck me. One on economic development, Ashland will be making an offer to a director. County should pay 20 to 25% of the cost of the director to work for the county and be part of the Omaha Chamber of Commerce to help with economic development. Now, there is an error in that part of it. It's with the partners instead of, it's part of Omaha Chamber of Commerce, is that right?
That is correct. It's an under organization under the auspices of the chamber, simply because the chamber has the infrastructure in place for this office and partnership to operate infrastructure, meaning staff, copy machines, the things that you need to run an organization.
So, then it was a motion by Reese, seconded by Zog. Those are 2 of them that are on the Economic Development Committee for the county. To authorize the county to pay 25% of the expenses for the Ashland Area Economic Development Corporation Director. Voting, all were in favor of that. So that kind of more than struck my interest and concern, because I didn't think it was gonna be coming up. I was not aware in any discussions that there was gonna be dollars involved in this project. But it stirred me enough that I did email a letter to address to the chairman, Mr. Lutton, copied in Bill and Tom Berliska, both represent the city of Wahoo area. So I did have that, and last night during a board meeting I was attending, NRD, Bill called me and wanted to visit. And should not be worded just Omaha Chamber of Commerce, it should be listed. Because it never did say in the discussion about it being Omaha Chamber, but in the minutes it ended up that way. So they'll correct that, and that's just, helps clarify a little bit where we're at and where we're going. So, what I'm proposing is, well, according to Teresa Klein, out at the NRD open house, they had a discussion, and Bill was gonna try and meet with Greater Wahoo and the city before this came out, and that's where it kind of got ahead of the cart there a little bit. And so, I'm not sure where it's at with Greater Wahoo, but I'm just suggesting that our Economic Development Committee, which is Krejci, Warford, and ideas, set up a meeting with probably Bill and Mr. Zog, and work on clarification and get some more details into this, so it'll show more involvement, hopefully, from the city of Wahoo. And so, I don't know, Melissa met with her this morning, and she shows some of the same concerns. And I don't know if you have any comments about it or not, but from her.
No, I appreciate, I know out when we met, when Bacon's office hosted that Economic Development Forum, one of the conversations we had is Saunders County is in such a location that we have to do something, and we need to be driving our own bus. I think those were the words that, so I'm happy that things are moving forward. I agree the communication could have been better, but we'll get there.
Any council members have any comments or questions? Bill, do you have anything more to that?
Well, I just want to reiterate, I appreciate your patience with me as we stumble through this. I think we really have an opportunity to come together on this, and I was going to say I will make sure that those minutes are reflected and that we correct that. And I had something else I was going to throw out there, but I spaced it off. I would gladly answer any questions or attempt to from any of the board members here about this.
Is there a better time to get a question answered? Because, you know, some of us have heard about this since like 10 o'clock this morning. Some of us are just hearing about it now. We're really not even able to process what we're doing.
Sure.
And I don't know if this is the best time and place to try to air things out, because we don't really even know what questions to ask. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to find a path to.
No,
move
that's
forward.
completely fair, and, you know, I don't think, I want to assure people that the hiring process was simply just to get a part-time person in, and we weren't really concerned about, and I don't take this the wrong way, please, we really, in my mind, what there is, I wasn't expecting a big pushback or alarm from Wahoo, because this was kind of a county attempt to get someone in place to help us approach municipalities like Wahoo and those, you know, it was, I guess, you know, we reference our perspective from different places. And having been a former city council member, I appreciate that. You know, you're looking at things from your point of view, county's looking at things from their point of view, and, you know, I missed an opportunity to bring things together. And I think we're gonna have that opportunity. You know, high tides raise all ships, so.
Just a quick question, not to throw a jab or anything, but
Sure.
you were talking about looking at it from a county point of view. Isn't Wahoo the county seat?
It is a county seat, it's also a municipality, and it does have its
So
own
is
zoning and things like this. So we're talking about, the county was looking at for, you know, just a regional approach to everything. That we regard everything east of Wahoo, west of Wahoo, just as important as the area. And certainly, we will respect that. We will respect
And it's, I mean, it's, we each have our own planning and zoning. We don't, we go out 1 mile, we'll be able to go out 2 miles.
Right,
Whenever that date is right.
right.
And beyond that, there is no true economic development for rural area.
That's correct. Other than our zoning and planning board, you know, they're kind of an ex officio, economic development board, because they're the ones who vote yea or nay on things that are then recommended to the county board. I mean, just like it works within city jurisdictions. And so they're kind of the economic development people right now.
Yeah.
And if you ask any of them, you know, are you an economic development person? They're gonna say, no, I'm not. You know, I mean, that's not in their expertise, and nor is it in the county board's expertise, among a lot of other things. And so this is why we're trying to get some experienced help to help us kind of coordinate and get people at the table. Again, we did have that corporation, but, you know, like I said before, for some reasons, it just fell through the cracks, and which is unfortunate, but I think it was one of those things that it was such a big undertaking at the time that no one really knew where to start. You know, sometimes when you have so many things in front of you, it freezes you, and I kind of get the feeling that that may have been what happened. I can't say that. And this is what we're trying to avoid by bringing in a full-time, to Stuart's question when we talked this morning, what we'd like to do is maybe just, like I said before, take a few baby steps and plan what is, you know, so we don't have this big, all of a sudden we have to have an economic development office. You know, we don't, where would this person start? And if they have experience, they would know. But we, as a council, I think or as a supervisor board, I think we would prefer to kind of ease into it a little bit before we go full tilt. Does that make any sense? I mean, I think that's how the board is feeling about it. I can't speak for them entirely, but that's the sense I got when we undertook this, so.
Now, from the city standpoint, if you feel that economic development, our committee needs to meet before we meet with county, or that's, something, Melissa's on that, and I sit in on it, so we can discuss that. If it doesn't happen in 2 weeks,
well, I think it's a very good idea. I mean, if nothing else, to just make sure we're all on the same page, and to, as questions, you know, do come up now in the interim, because like, and I agree with you, maybe this is, we can't answer all the questions tonight,
Right.
and let's don't even try. But let's set up a plan where we can think about what are our concerns, what are our ideas, how can we be of help, those type of things, and then get our committee together. And David is on that committee as well, and he is out of the country right now, and when he gets back, he's gonna have his knee replaced. So I don't know what his availability will be, but I think, you know, we do need to get together. I will be talking similarly to the Greater Wahoo Development Foundation to give them kind of the similar background information and where we can go from here, to kind of just keep everybody in the loop. So, you know, lesson learned, and we're gonna make, hopefully we can really make this work, because we're in a really good spot here. We really are. We're still in a position where we can control our destiny. But if we don't get going pronto, we may lose that. And those surrounding counties that are on your map may get all the good stuff, and we'll be ending up with the scraps. And that, I don't say that to be flip, I mean that could possibly happen, you know.
I do have one.
Someone discussed, I think it was you, Jerry, or maybe it was Ryan, was said, what do we do when the next solar farm wants to come in? You know, I mean, we need to be prepared for those type, was it you, Stuart? I think we really need to be prepared for those discussions. And it's interesting too that the state legislature has kind of put some restraints on how you can deny special use permits, you know, in your zoning. That if it fits in, you really have no grounds to deny it. And that's kind of scary, because then where's our local control? You know, where's that going? So, we have our challenges, and so the more we can work together in the nitty-gritty details, the better.
I have a question, and maybe you can't or shouldn't answer it, but, you're talking about the building out at the 4 lane.
Yes. Yes.
I've heard that one of the possible people that would be moving out of there would be Grant Anderson.
It's a possibility. We don't have really a concrete plan. We're just kind of kicking this around, and we're talking to those officers and appointed officials who might be interested in being out there to make it work for them. So that's still a very nebulous
Yeah.
situation, and, but the county is kind of running out of some office space, and conditions at the courthouse are such that we need to be getting into an HR presence there. Believe it or not, we have 150 or so employees, and we do not have an HR department. And you can imagine the liability that we're exposed to by not having that, particularly with personnel issues.
Yeah.
I mean, things like FMLA and vacation and comp time and all these things are very contentious to some people, and we need a good, consistent HR. So we're looking at office space to accommodate all these things, so.
Council, have any more questions on this topic?
Not tonight.
No. Do you have any other questions or things that you wanna talk about?